The Sumerian Kings List. A list so incredible, it documents the reign of kings who lived for tens of thousands of years. Kings that ruled before the flood. A text that's so important that it couldn't be left in public view. It had to be stolen and most likely lost forever. The Sumerian Kings List once sat in the Iraqi National Museum until 2003. 15,000 artifacts were looted during the war, including the tablets of the Kings List. We all understand why the Sumerian Kings List was so important to the world. It was a roadmap to our true history. It told all of us of a place that nobody got sick and nobody died. And this place is called Dilmun, the land of the living, the land of the gods, a place of pure brilliance, a place free from death, sickness, and aging, and a place that I believe is still here, and it's being hidden from us. 100%. Are you ready to go deeper? Here we go. The Sumerian texts describe Dilmun as a land of purity and a paradise, a UNESCO World Heritage Site as of 2005. Again, our timeline after the 1800s just needs the UNESCO, because without them, all of these sites would just be destroyed from the weathering. No. And then the excavations just begin in 1954. Our timeline, over and over and over. The finders of the old world, without a doubt. We are told that the Portuguese fort was once the capital of the Dilmun civilization, unearthing antiquities from an artificial mound 39 feet high, containing 7 stratified layers. Now I'm gonna ask you all, what do you think that they found in 1954 on this little island off the coast of Qatar? What else is in this location today that they are still finding? All of this is right next to Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Is this place on the map so much more than what we're being told? If they are correct, and this is the location on the map of immortality, the land of the living, the land of the gods, a place of pure brilliance, a place free from death, sickness, and aging. What if all of us, what if we aren't that far behind them in this research? What if they are just figuring all of this out in the 1950s, potentially finding the real Dilmun in 1954, where the population of Dubai only grew from 1,200 people to basically 20,000 in 150 years. So only gaining like 18,800 people in 150 years. And right after finding Dilmun, the population of Dubai goes from about 20,000 to 3 million in 2025. Why did Dubai just come out of nowhere? Why did they pick this location to create such an incredible city? With estimated investment amounts in the city of Dubai jumping from only 50 million in total in 1940 to over 500 billion in 2025, something happened. Something massive happened. And I believe that we figured it out. When they possibly found Dilmun in 1954, is it just a coincidence that they have invested so much money into this location since that date? And then stealing the Sumerian Kings List from Iraq in 2003 and hiding the 30,000 tablets and the Epic of Gilgamesh in the British Museum. Is it all just a coincidence? Or are we seeing the truth very clearly now? You tell me. Dilmun, according to the Epic of Gilgamesh, is the land of immortality, the ancestral place of the Sumerians, and a meeting point of gods. If you were able to build a new city anywhere in the world, where would you build it? It's very interesting, especially when we are told something massive. We are shown that this location on the map has massive necropolises. To this point, we have episode 105, episode 106, 108, 110, 111, and episode 112, Under the Necropolis, parts 1 through 6, fully exposing what these are. We have hours of research exposing that this location right here, the entire area, is where the previous civilization went. It is a cemetery, especially a large one, all belonging to an ancient city. This is the old world, and it was not thousands of years ago, in my opinion. I believe it was only a few hundred years ago, with a massive event taking place right here where we all live today. And now we find their structures everywhere, in every city, every country. The Dilmun burial mounds, which were found in 1889 by Mr. Bent and his wife, where, according to Mrs. Bent, they found the old world. And we all know it was not just a couple bits of ivory, charcoal, and ostrich eggshells. This is a lie, and this isn't fooling anybody anymore. It's absolute nonsense. I'm shocked they didn't say they found some pottery and maybe a stick. So then they take the ostrich eggshells, supposedly. They take the bits of ivory, the charcoal. They take these precious items, so valuable. They take them to the British Museum in London. They just had to have those ostrich eggshells. What would they do without them? Episode 109 talks all about this British Museum and 7.92 million items, all locked up and behind closed doors, all off limits to the public. Can you imagine believing this nonsense? That the ivory, the charcoal, and the ostrich eggshells were so important, and that's all they found. It was so important that they needed to be taken to the British Museum in London. We all know that there was so much more, especially considering the location, possibly a place that people lived forever and have perfect health, and taken to the British Museum. I want to know what is really in the British Museum. We all know that they have the Epic of Gilgamesh, and now we know they have an ostrich eggshell. I need to see that eggshell so bad. I don't know what I'm going to do in my life if I never get to see that ivory and that charcoal. We know they found so much more than just an eggshell and a stick, and it's all protected by this group yet again. Of course, comprising necropolis areas on the island, with recent studies having shown that there are 350,000 ancient grave mounds right here at the site. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 116 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, Don Gaston, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, BKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Will Task Homestead, John Adams, Roberts O'Zolins, The Arnolds, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, Ivan Apoctoli, EdgarT-shirts.com, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT Guy, Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alton, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Kay Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc. Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Paraplegic Coffee, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apoctoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Anna and Marley Valdez, Wayne T, Late for Dinner, Wanakar Camo, Paolo Goncalves, Blake, Rick Tapke, Ducks, MDF TFB, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bill Check and Son, Checkmate, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalacro, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Sven Eric, Janet Elizabeth, Dr. Mom, Carrie, Kitty Kitties, Making Eagles, GOL, and Patriot, Doc Halo, Papa One, Kenneth Putt, Frizz Tickle, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Jack Kramer, Henry's Mom, Necrodemonics, Charmstar, A&W Kerrigan, Tim Skin, Rod Wah, Jesse DeLeon, VKH Bonner, Lisa Boutwell, The Phoenix Art, Jimmy Jacobs, Traquan Smith, Lucy, The Lady Lacey Show, Shibba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. They found chambers where the majority measure 15 by 30 feet in diameter. Going on to say, although the chambers usually contained one burial each, some contained several people, with the bodies being accompanied by, of course, old world items. And we know this now. I thought they were gonna leave the pottery out, but they just can't help themselves. There were, of course, a few pieces of pottery. What would we do without the pottery? I think I would lose my mind if they don't give me the pottery story every single time. These people loved pottery. If they don't tell me about the pottery, I know the whole story is just null and void. I know that every single one of these old world civilizations, they just loved making cups. They needed to do something with their time other than building palaces. They needed to make some pottery. So thank you very much, narrator. I'm so thankful that you gave us the pottery again. Such a great addition to the story. It just puts the cherry on the top. Sometimes they would collect shells, and if they were getting wild that day, they would make a stone stamped seal. And they would do basket weaving, but it wasn't their favorite. On the weekends, they would knock out a few stone jars and some copper weapons. They were so primitive, they are so boring. But we all know at this point that this is all nonsense. And the truth is the complete opposite. There was no pottery found at the site. There never is. And this pottery is put there after they found the site. They probably made the pottery in some warehouse and then brought it there and then tell us that's all they found. This is what we are given. We are given the pottery, the charcoal, the sticks, and all these useless things. They just want to make these people of the old world look like they were pathetic. They wanted to make this narrative, to make it seem like we are the most advanced group of people to ever be here, when that couldn't be further from the truth. So we get the pottery, and then we all stopped asking questions for so many years about what was really found. We don't ask about the items that were buried with the bodies. And this is so clear now. What else was found at the site? What was really found at the site? And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're in 2005. During a parliamentary debate, party leaders said, housing for the living is better than graves for the dead. I'm quoting this person. This person says, we must have pride in our Islamic roots and not some ancient civilization from another place and time, which only gives us a jar here and a bone there, calling for this site to be concreted over for housing when they only say they found a bowl and a fork. The overall population today thinks that this place is useless. This is why they give us the pottery. This is exactly what they're doing, making the previous civilization out to be useless, pathetic, when we know that this is possibly the site of the old world Dilmun, mentioned in old world texts, a place without sickness or death. It is not just a place that they found a stick and a bone, a place that draws comparisons to the Garden of Eden, finding hundreds of thousands of bodies underground. And then they want to tell us all they found was an ostrich egg. And they just want to concrete over it all and build houses, stealing the Sumerian kings list from Iraq 2 years before saying this. This location is obviously shocking and a massive location in finding the truth about our true history. It's also very interesting just seeing this section on the map and knowing how many things between Egypt, Syria, Iraq, Dubai, the Red Sea, Greece, Israel, and even up into Turkmenistan. Just this entire location. You see it basically just covered with sand now, destroyed. And finding tablets all over these locations. Old world stories, the texts. We've seen the ball cycle found in Syria. All of it under the sand. Iraq, the same thing. All finding this in the 1800s. The old world civilization was extremely busy on this area of our map. And it's so interesting to see which countries have seen so much conflict within the last 100 years. I'm not a huge believer in coincidences. Are these destruction projects? Are these strategic operations to keep us away from researching for ourselves? Let me know what you think. Things get even more interesting when we find the Dilmun seals. Numerous seals were discovered during excavations, finding them at the Barbar Temple, a key religious site associated with Enki, the Sumerian god of water, completely destroyed by the massive event in my opinion, and completely turned into sand. Locating this site in our timeline yet again. They never find this stuff in the 1400s. They never find it in the 1500s. But yet again, discovering this site in 1954, the exact same year as the Portuguese fort. So in 1954, or around then, this is in my opinion, but I believe that they figured it all out right around this date. And then said, go find it all. Finding the Dilmun seals at the Barbar Temple. And also finding this. It's very interesting. And then here's a seal that they found that's depicting two griffins. One of them's holding a dagger or some sort of weapon and has human legs. Discovering nearly 400 Dilmun seals across Bahrain and the broader Gulf region. Intricate carvings of geometric designs. And we all know that they found so much more, as well as other things. Now housed in several locations around the world. Many are in the Bahrain National Museum. Yet again, they're taken over to the British Museum. I think that we definitely need to go there. I want to see the Epic of Gilgamesh, the 30,000 tablets, as well as these seals. What else do they have in there? The 7.92 million artifacts and items that are off limits to the public. All of these items just in the basement and waiting to be exposed to the world. Thank you to all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber, and everybody who likes the episodes. You are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. I cannot believe how many subscribers we're at on YouTube. From the very beginning, I thought that I was the only one that was interested in this stuff. I cannot believe how many people are so interested in this topic. It's so cool to see, and I'm so thankful that we have an awesome community here, and it's growing faster and faster. Again, thank you so much for subscribing. And again, we have so many cool things on the way. We are on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify, if you're looking for more content from us. Now, if this is the location that Dilmun was really located, what if it wasn't an island? And there are things in the water right here, surrounding Bahrain now, that would blow our minds today. What if something happened that destroyed the land around it, and the water filled it in? What if we're exactly right yet again, when we are told that they are famous for their pearl diving industry. And while searching for pearls, divers occasionally discovered artifacts, such as pottery, yet again. But when they give us the pottery, we know to keep looking. They gave us the key, the pottery. And then they say that things are believed to be remnants of the Dilmun era. Incredible. I have located an article from October 10th, 1914 that blew my mind. And it connected back to episode 61. Within the British archives, when we zoom in over to the left, we see that they found the Sumerian tablets and were decoding them. Titling the article, Ancient Tablets indicates that Noah ate of forbidden fruit. New light is shed on the fall of man by Professor Stephen Langdon's translation of the newly discovered tablets concerning the Sumerian account of this event, telling us that it was actually Noah instead of Adam who ate of the forbidden fruit. The tablet begins by describing the land of bliss, which it locates at Dilmun, where we know they meant Dilmun because down here it's spelled correctly, Dilmun, now an island in the Persian Gulf, exactly like we've shown today. In this paradise dwelled mankind, where they plant a garden and names the trees and plants, and is allowed to eat all of them, besides the Cassia tree. What is the Cassia tree? Is this the tree of life, of eternal life? Is this the same plant that Gilgamesh was searching for and found? Is this it? This supposed forbidden fruit, the Cassia tree. The Cassia, in Sumerian documents, is the herb of healing par excellence, as well as in Semitic and Greek medicine. The legends in regard to it probably told of it being the plant which bestowed absolute immortality. And there it is. The Cassia tree. It goes on to say there were no women involved in our loss of perfect health. It was supposedly only Noah's fault, according to the Sumerian tablets. The Cassia tree. What the heck have we found today? Here's a picture of a Cassia tree today. I'm not telling anybody to go eat it, but supposedly there are edible parts, including the pulp of the pods, the flowers, for herbal remedies, and the bark in small amounts. The seeds are considered toxic and should not be consumed. So there's obviously something going on with this tree. We just need to go further, especially when it's mentioned in the Bible multiple times. Exodus 30:24, where cassia is listed as one of the ingredients in the sacred anointing oil. Ezekiel 27:19, where it was used as a trade good, showing that it was a valuable commodity in the old world. And Psalm 45:8, where it was referenced as a luxurious fragrance, symbolizing royalty. And now, I'm going to the store and I'm going to buy a couple of these and put them right in my yard. So there it is, the Dilmun seals, the Sumerian king's list, the Cassia tree. Every piece fits perfectly into this massive puzzle, a place described as the land of immortality, the land of the gods, a paradise where nobody got sick and nobody ever died. The Cassia tree, mentioned in ancient tablets, the Bible, and so many stories from the old world, all mentioned as the key to healing, to life itself. And let's not forget what happened after the discoveries in 1954. The excavations began. Dubai grew from a village to a city that now stands at the center of modern wealth and power. Billions and billions of dollars poured right into this location. But why here? Why now? Is it all a coincidence? I don't believe so. This isn't a story of simple discoveries. This is a story of secrets, a story of powerful knowledge kept out of reach. From 15,000 artifacts looted in 2003 to ancient tablets hiding in the British Museum to 350,000 burial mounds at Bahrain. What we're looking at is the blueprint of the old world. And then there's the Cassia tree, mentioned in the Sumerian tablets as the herb of healing, calling the tree of life, the same tree that Gilgamesh hunted for. A tree so powerful, it symbolizes immortality. What else do we need to see to realize this wasn't just a myth? These are the pieces they don't want you to put together. So ask yourself, why was the Cassia tree off limits in the land of Dilmun? Why were the Sumerian Kings List tablets taken? And why does this location, this very region, remain at the heart of global conflict to this day? Because all of the answers are right here. They are buried underneath the sand. They are locked away in the museums and hidden in plain sight. The old world isn't gone. It's right here. It never left. And now we're all starting to see it. So what do you think? Is all of this just a coincidence? Or is this the truth staring at us right in the face? You decide. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See ya.